Oh. That looks right. That looks right. That looks right. That looks right. No sound. Good. Or no audio going into, no extra audio, I mean. That is exactly what I want. All right, let me unmute that. Let me minimize that. Let me close that. Sorry, some of these computers I actually use for personal purposes, and I was looking at buying a house. So yeah, it's been one of those days. Okay, let's check everything. That looks right. 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 Alrighty. Switch. How you feeling? How you feeling? Let me mute it real quick just to make sure. Mute and your channel. Okay, just making sure everything looks good here. Everything does look good. Okay, just making sure. Okay. I think we're okay. What is going on though? Give me 1 second here. Let me change a few things. Okay. I'm not going crazy. Okay. I was starting to wonder. I was like, man, what is going on? It was almost like something was going on with my connections. So just give me 1 second here and let me make sure we're all good. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And let me make sure this is good. And then we can get started talking about everything that happened with Nintendo. Oh my God, Nintendo was on it today. So give me 1 second here. Do 1 and do 2 and then do minimize and we should be good. Alrighty. Hi, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB. I hope everybody had a good day. Hope everybody had a good day at work today. My name is Anthony, or the Open Forum. I make videos about helping people with technical issues, technical support, things of that nature, and helping as many people as we can. You know, it's kind of been our thing. It's kind of what we do here. And yeah, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me make sure. Yeah, I think everybody's okay. I'm sorry, my screen is just tripping on me. Oh, technical difficulties. I change one thing and then all of a sudden everything just goes crazy on me. I don't even know why, but whatever. Okay. No, that's right. Okay. All right, then I'll leave it alone. Alrighty. So basically a lot of new things have happened today. One, I was trying to change the background. That's why it threw everything off. So I do apologize for starting a little bit late. But two, there's been a few things that have happened with Nintendo Direct. So let me grab my headset, which fell on the floor. I want to swap this up because I don't even put on both headphones. I would like to just have some earbuds, but they can't be Bluetooth because Bluetooth is in and out. So yeah, I'm gonna need some type of a USB type earbud. But yeah, in any event though, let's go to our topics for today. As soon as I can figure out which screen it is. There we go. Alrighty. All right, let's get to work here. So the first topic I wanted to talk about is, as soon as I scroll up, Power Color Liquid Devil RX 7900 XTX guarantees ultimate overclocking. This completely solves like 90% of the issues that people have been having with the 7900 XTX and having that, I think it was like 108 degrees Celsius hotspot or something like that. It was a really hot part of the actual CPU of the processor of the GPU. And it had that hotspot. But switching it to a liquid cool system would probably be one of the best things that they can possibly do. Power Color has introduced its Liquid Devil Radeon RX 7900 XTX graphics card equipped with a water block co-designed with EK, which is a very reputable water block company. And they sell other components as well to liquid cool your CPU. The board is designed for systems equipped with a custom liquid cooling system and promises to guarantee ultimate overclockability, in which is not a word, but we'll go with it. Power Color's Liquid Devil 7900 XTX 24 gig uses the company's in-house design printed PCB that features 14 layers, but we already know that. One of the interesting peculiarities of the Liquid Devil 7900 XTX is that its water block is a single slot wide. So it's significantly more compact than in graphics cards compared to the double wide or triple wide air cooling systems. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Let's look. Let's see if we can find a picture of it. Okay, yeah, here we go. So yeah, this guy here is actually not too shabby because this guy is a single slot card. So this can actually fit in quite a few systems, unlike literally everything else that's kind of going on right now. One of these days, I'm going to create a liquid cooling build, probably when I move into like a house or something. So yeah, that is literally the very first thing that's on my mind is trying to get a liquid cooling system, and that is a good step in the right direction. I just want one for the 4090 though. Sorry, 7900 XTX. So me personally, I didn't want the 4090. So let's be clear. I never wanted the 4090. It's just that it was within the realm of possibilities, right? And I was like, okay, I really want the 7900 XTX because if I got that guy, then I didn't have to change out my Sliger case. I like cases more than I like graphics cards. So I would rather have the Sliger case and the 7900 XTX than the 4090 and some gigantic case. So, but when I got there and I was like maybe third or fourth in line, they had no 7900 XTXs. They only had the 7900 XT, the 4080, and the 4090. So I just did what any person in that situation who had the ability to afford any of them would have done. I went with the 4090, but in that situation, you know, if the 7900 XTX was there, I would have gone with that hands down. But, oh, okay. Let me rephrase. If the 7900 XTX was there and the 4090 gigabyte wasn't there, then I would go for the XTX. But the Gigabyte 4090 is one of the smaller 4090s. So you know, if it was one of the bigger ones, like the ones that are even bigger than the actual Gigabyte model, then I probably wouldn't have gone for it. I would have just gone for the 7900 XTX and saved myself that little bit of money there. So yeah, I personally like the XTX product. It's just it wasn't available. Like it's so hard. Like nowadays, when it comes to actually purchasing graphics cards, it really just kind of comes down to what's available. It has very little to do with which graphics card you want, and everything to do if it's available. So you know that's just another step in the wrong direction when it comes to graphics cards. Okay, let me get a fan going, and we can go ahead and get it popping. Okay. So first topic of today. Oh my goodness. I put this fan literally upside down. I am tripping. Okay. So The Legend of Zelda has a new trailer. I totally want to see it. Let's see here. Oh no, it was actually on. Of course it was actually on. This is why I don't like headsets. I just rather have one earbud in my left ear and that'd be the end of it. So this is the Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom gameplay trailer from the Nintendo Direct, which was today. It actually came on this evening, but then I fell asleep, so I never got a chance to see all of it. Okay, let's make sure our settings are good, and yeah, we're good to go. Yes! What the hell is that?
Rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule. Eliminate this kingdom and her allies. Leave no survivors.
But Link, I am not sure you'll be able to stop him.
Did Link just get a car?
Please, lend him your power.
Oh, it's in May. Okay. One, why does Zelda sound like that? I don't remember Zelda sounding that way. It's just, I don't know. I just didn't think that she was from Australia or something. So I don't know. Me personally, I kind of want a co-op with Link and Zelda. Like, it's enough. Like, okay, this trope has been around for a really long time, right? The prince saves the princess and conquers the castle from the evil person and all that kind of jazz. That's been around for ages, right? But at the same time, the best time that most people had was when it was Ocarina of Time, or Ocarina of Time, how you want to pronounce that, or Ocarina of Time, when you actually could, you know, see Sheik, and Sheik was doing different things. But I think that having the ability to have co-op with somebody to come into the game as Zelda or Sheik would be one of the coolest things that they can do for Nintendo, but it will also probably make the Nintendo Switch explode. So whenever they do that, I think that would probably be one of the dopest things, to be able to actually go with Link and Zelda in order to take on like Ganondorf or Ganon or his sword or whoever. You know, it'd be like Ganon and his sword versus Link and Zelda. Like, that would be the sickest thing ever. But, you know, I'm still excited for the game. I'm excited for the whole car situation there and flying bokoblins. Sure. That's a thing. So, I mean, I like the trailer. I mean, obviously I'm pre-ordering. So there's going to be a week of the stream where I'm literally going to be gone because I'm going to be playing this game. Or we can actually just play this game during the stream or something. I don't know. But at the same time, I kind of learned my lesson from trying to play video games on a tech stream. But but I may do it on a different stream on a weekend or something. Okay, there's one more that was also pretty interesting, and that is Pikmin. You know what? Can we just swap to YouTube and watch it? This is going to be kind of small. Yeah, let's do it that way. That's clean. I ain't gonna lie, that's clean. What is that? Yeah, red one. My experience with Olimar is mostly from Smash Brothers. Oh, that is a very interesting Pikmin. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Aww. Oh, that's so damn cute. That's so cute. Is that an ostrich? Oh, dear Lord. Okay, that was clean. I'm sorry. When does it release? Oh, it's not over. Oh God, in July. So you get 2 months to play Zelda, and then you got Pikmin in July. I'm pre-ordering both. I should probably do it right now. Okay, that's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. I'm not even gonna lie. All right now. Okay, don't hurt yourself. So yeah, they had a bunch of stuff actually on the Nintendo Direct, but Pikmin in particular, like I knew Pikmin 3 was actually a good game, and I've always heard people speak very highly of Pikmin, but I've never actually had a chance to play it. My introduction to Pikmin really, even though I saw the trailers, my actual introduction was in Smash Brothers, because I kind of always looked at Pikmin the same way I look at Kirby. I think those games, they look more like kiddie games. They don't really look like adult games. Like, for example, even The Legend of Zelda has dealt with adult issues. It's not like The Witcher, where you're trying to figure out who's the father of the baby. It's not Witcher level, but it's more adult oriented, you know, teenage adult oriented. Whereas Pikmin and Kirby, I always looked at them as more kiddie oriented. Like even in Smash Brothers, like the characters though that come into Smash Brothers are more adult oriented. Like there's people who have a really good following with like Link or Marth or Roy. These are adults. They're just young teenager 20 something like people. So because of that, I just never really saw Pikmin in that way. But this is kind of going to probably be one of those games that makes me change my mind. Splatoon is the exact same way. I like Splatoon. I did not like its controller when it first came out, but the Splatoon DLC that just came out recently, or just got announced on the Nintendo Direct as well. Splatoon is kind of an interesting one because it's kind of like more of a teenage fan base, because it's like Squid Kids, I guess is the best way to say it. But I never really look at them as more adult games. Like, but most adult games like a Xenoblade, even though Xenoblade is kind of like more about teenagers, those kind of games are the kind of games that I'm interested in, more so adult issues. Like the kiddie games, I'm just kind of gotten behind. But fun fact, I like all types of like Disney movies or movies that have animation. I don't know why. It's a very weird thing. But when it comes to video games, I like more adult-based video games. I like people going through real problems I can relate to. Okay, let's actually start helping people. Alrighty, so let's do this here. All right, so this is from Exit Moscow. We were talking with him previously. Let me turn off this headset here, and let me get some tea. Alrighty, and let's get ready for this. Exit Moscow. So there was a few things with him. And he said random black screen while gaming, about to throw his PC out the window. After we giggled for like 20 minutes, he was actually telling us his issue. He said, essentially, since I built my PC just about a year ago, I've been experiencing this issue. It happens only when gaming, not when alt-tabbing or browsing the internet. My screen goes black and it wouldn't come back. A scratchy noise comes from the speakers. Every LED vent stays on. Numlock is responsive. I am then forced to shut it down manually. Windows displaying error code 41 in the event of the error. This happens with Modern Warfare 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Fortnite. But he's done a lot. So he actually replaced a lot of stuff. So let me go to that when he said it. Literally tried everything. Okay. So issue was there with my old 5600X X570 config. In that case, the motherboard would try to reboot, and someone told me it is an AGESA bug. VGA LED came up on easy debug because the monitor went into sleep mode instantly. Blah, blah, blah. This does not happen with my new motherboard. So he replaced the motherboard. The noise lasts forever and no sign of easy debug. I now have a Z690, so he replaced the processor and a 13600K. I also tried changing my RAM kit, so he's replaced the RAM. And then he said he also tried his brother's GPU, which is also a 6800 XT, just like his, but it was a different custom, so a different model. But and the issue was still there. So it's not graphics card, it's not CPU, and it's not motherboard. It's also not RAM. So we were only looking at power supply or SSD, NVMe, and monitor. So I had told him, gotcha, no hurries. We appreciate the update we have to show to run. So new updates are great at bringing us closure, because we actually told him about the issue with Corsair. So Corsair's 850 watt power supply, the 24 pin is actually different from the 750 watt. So we were a little worried and concerned that maybe his issue may be stemming from his custom cables. Maybe his custom cables are for the 750, not the 850, so on and so forth. And so we were letting him know. He said he was going to check it and swap it out with the original cables that came with the 850 to see if that made a difference. And he says yesterday he swapped out and reseated every original cable. He also installed a spare fresh NVMe and a fresh Windows install. Now I'm installing Red Dead Redemption 2, and today I'll see if it crashes. I said, great, thanks for the update. And then he says, okay, I am RMAing the PSU and the sleeve cables. System was now tested with a brand new motherboard, CPU, RAM, NVMe, and Windows 10 install in its original cables. Red Dead Redemption 2 crashed after a couple hours. What PSU should I get? Should I aim for a 1000 watt PSU? Also brand, EVGA maybe. My old 650 watt from EVGA never had a problem. Yeah, I mean, he was rocking the 850. This guy here definitely seems to be faulty. There's no other parts or components that can probably cause the issue outside of maybe a short. But that short would have been resolved once he swapped out the motherboard and CPU, so you can't even say that anymore. So yeah, with this one here, is there a reason to have an 850 watt, anything stronger than an 850 watt gold/platinum? No, not really. The 4090 that I currently have, I actually use a 850 watt, the same Corsair he has. So it's the, I think it's platinum. I think it's platinum, but I want to make sure just before I say it because he's asking to. Corsair white. I'm pretty sure this guy is platinum or gold. Okay, it's gold. Okay, so or no, this is ATX. This is mine was SFX. Let me check one more time. SFX. Yeah, the whiteout edition. Yeah, we got it. Okay, yeah, it is still gold. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So 850 watt gold is enough to actually power the 4090. The 4090 actually doesn't really okay, it can get up there, but it's not as crazy as most people make you think it out to be. It's really not so bad. But this is the one that I go with. So anything over that is okay. He had, what kind of build did he have? Let's go back to him real quick. What did he have on his chassis? Okay, so this is a Z690 with a 13600K, but he never mentioned what kind of chassis he has. So it's kind of hard to actually tell him, you know, which one specifically. I liked the, what was it called? Was it Cooler Master that had that 1000 watt gold or 1000 watt platinum Cooler Master 1000 watt SFX or 100 watt? Wow, that's literally nothing. Let's see. I think it was Cooler Master. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say 1000 watt gold or 850 watt gold or better. And okay, yes, we let them know. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. All that's left is the PSU. Gotta give those politician answers, because if we be like, oh yeah, definitely, and then not work and he still has the same issue, then we don't want to, you know, we still want to troubleshoot, but we don't want to be like giving definitives. Yeah, yeah, that's all that's left is the PSU. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, all that's left is the PSU. I would say 850 to 1000 watts gold. If I can spell gold or silver. Did I say silver? Gold or platinum would be ideal for your next build, and be sure it has the 12 VPHR cable as an input, cable connector as well, just in case you decide to go NVIDIA in the future and just in case you decide to go NVIDIA in the future, you will thank me later. So yeah, so if you're going to be going for a new power supply, I definitely would recommend to go for a power supply that has the 12-volt VPHR cable, because you don't want to be like me and you buy a brand new power supply to go with a new case in November, and then the 4090 comes out, and now you don't have the 12-volt VPHR because you never needed it before, because you always had plans on just going with 3090, and now you have a power supply that doesn't have that pin, and you have a 4 cable breakout into 4 other pins. Now, of course, you don't necessarily need 4, 3 is fine, but the fact that you still have that 4-piece breakout is super annoying, and it's super tacky, and I'm not a fan of it, especially in SFX cases where it's kind of, you don't have a whole lot of space. So it kind of stops some of the airflow from going into your CPU and your graphics card, stuff like that. It stops them from getting as cool as they could be. So I can't stand it. I kind of want to swap out the power supply, but at the same time, I'll be stuck with an 850 watt power supply I paid darn near I paid darn near $200 for, and I just don't want to do that. I just don't see a point. I'm just going to kind of stick with it and just say, you know what, oh well. But yes, if you are buying a new power supply, definitely go for one with that 12-volt VPR, whatever it's called. But you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, with this one here, it's kind of over. So we'll take our assist trophy and we'll go ahead and move on, man. Exit Moscow. That was a crazy issue, man. Your power supply really hates you. Well, okay. What was interesting though, here's why I never really thought it was the power supply. I would thought it was more so the cables, because he said that his computer screen would freeze, forcing him to reboot. If it was the power supply, it would have just rebooted. You know what I'm saying? It would have just shut him off. Now, the only reason why it's showing that it had an unexpected power outage, because you unhooked the power. So yeah, I don't know. I think your power supply is faulty because, we've tried every other component, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting, man. It's kind of an interesting one with that power supply, but understandable. I probably wouldn't get rid of it though. I would tell you that much. I wouldn't get rid of it, but I would go ahead and move away from it. Alrighty, Mr. Poopy. All right, cool. Let me get some water from Mr. Poopy. Hold on. All right. Mr. Poopy writes, GPU making a grind/snoring sound. When the fans spin up from being off, it makes a half-second snore sound. It's quite strange, and I'm worried that it can be an issue. A snore sound? Okay. I believe we believe you may be referring to coil whine, which can happen on GPUs. It's quite strange, and I'm quite worried that it can be an issue. Can you upload an audio recording of the exact sound you hear? Yeah, so we can't do anything, bro. We're just guessing at this point. But yeah, it sounds like coil whine, but I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't know if coil whine exactly makes a snoring sound, but it sounds like coil whine, but we'll know for sure once you actually upload and let us know, because there's no way for us to know. We're just speculating based on what your description of it is, but you're the one who heard it, so I don't know. Everything is just a possibility at this point. But Mr. Poopy, give us more information and we can definitely check that out. Oh God. Oh God, my dad's laptop. Oh God. Oh my God. Millions of your dead siblings. Oh God. Oh God. Oh, what did I just watch? Oh God. Oh, these comments. Your dad must say this is the best laptop I've come across. Oh, no. Don't have an award to give, but this comment deserves one. Oh my goodness gracious. Ectoplasm. Oh God. Well, there's Apple fanboys and then there's your dad. Oh Jesus, this is worst case scenario. Why would you touch it? Why would you prop it up? That's what I'm trying to figure out. My guess. Nah, man, that's not a coffee stain. I'm confused. Does he? Okay. Okay. I almost said the wrong thing. Okay. Okay. Generally, the ones at the top are usually the funniest. So we're just going to go ahead and just continue on and pretend we never saw that. Jesus, man, what are people doing? Oh, my Lord. That's the reason why people buy laptops. Syncing problems. Okay. Xbox issue. Let's go. All right. Xbox issue. Whenever I hold the sync button on my Xbox One S controller, it turns off. Can someone help? All right. I remember this one. So we were talking about this, right? And we were basically talking about how the Xbox controller, when he says sync button, he's actually referring to that button right there, the sync button. That's what he's actually referring to on the controller itself. And we didn't know for sure if he was actually, if this is a new Xbox for him, because it was a new Xbox, you actually can't press the sync button without having the power button already turned on, which is going to be the one right there. Yeah, the center button. So we were talking about that. We were also talking about how the PS5 controller actually has a reset button, but the Xbox does not. So we had asked them, so with this one here, what happens when it's plugged in directly into the Xbox? Does it work? Are the batteries fully charged? Is the Xbox controller X light on when you press the sync button? Just trying to make sure, you know, it may be a new Xbox for him or her. So it's just making sure. Taken from my response in a post similar to this, I've been having this problem all week. It's been since an update that the console pushed out. I even bought a new controller to see if that solved it, but it did not. I tried to power cycle, which never seemed to work either. Taking from my response in a similar post to this. It's been since an update that the console pushed out. I even bought a new controller to see if that solved it. It did not. I tried to power the cycle, which never seemed to work either. Is I'm not sure if you are referring to us or someone else, but we will go with the data provided. Based on this logic, if you reset the Xbox and prevent it from updating, the controllers should work, correct? Also, never mentioned if it works wired. So yeah, so what we're actually talking about is, well, of course, he will actually have to log into the Xbox in order to actually do the reset. You know, I think there is a way to do it with the actual button itself, but, you know, that's one of those things I'd have to look up, but that's neither here nor there. Let me make sure this actually comes on. Why is my controller? Okay, cool. So with the Xbox and the system console reset from right there. So under the console info for the reset, you actually do it from here. But if he obviously, if his controllers don't work, then he can't actually even get here. So what I was trying to do is try to have him connect directly up using the USB-C cable and plug it directly into the Xbox to see if that will actually get him connected. And then we kind of go from there. So that's what we were trying to do here. But we kind of just need some more information before we can proceed. But we need to know if it works wired. But if we do base it on what he's saying, or if this is him, I don't know if this is him because Chubby Crybaby is not the same person who created the ticket. So if this is the same person, then what we would say to that is, okay, well, if that's the case and what you say is true, then if you were to reset it, this should solve the problem. If you reset it and it doesn't solve the problem, then you may actually have a problem with your Bluetooth connectivity. Now, that also would mean that if you hook it up wired, it will work. So we just need some more information before we can actually proceed, but it really just kind of depends on the situation that you have once you reset the device. But what's the name? Legitimate Exchange, just go ahead and let us know what your findings are, unless you want to pull it from another case or something. I don't know what's going on with this one. Okay, so this is from Blowser. Are we talking about Okay, we're maybe talking about PC at this point. Okay, so he was saying game crashing for no discernible reason. For quite a while now, I've come across several games that just close to desktop after a few minutes. I can launch them and interact with the menus for a few minutes, maybe even get a little gameplay. But message is in the event viewer. It lists an error and information. I have attached screenshots of these reports, but that's obviously not an option here. I've been having an issue with several games, but it's been happening more lately with Dark and Darker and Hogwarts Legacy. While these games are brand new, these haven't been the only things prompting this issue. I've experienced it with Grounding, Valorant, Scarlet Nexus, blah 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 blah. So he was actually talking about his issue, and he was actually getting a fault. And basically, he also did a clean boot. Yeah, so which we were talking about, we think that he meant a cold boot. The reason I haven't done a clean boot is because what I've gathered is telling me that error resides in the application itself. So I'm performing a clean boot, excluding the problematic problem from the files during setup. I'd be restricting my ability to even open the game. I think he's actually talking about a reboot here, but I've tried verifying file integrity, uninstalling and reinstalling the programs, updating all drivers, scanning for faulty RAM, checking RAM speeds, ensuring BIOS settings are correct, updating BIOS, excluding programs from antivirus, which is what we originally thought the problem was, factory resetting the computer, clean install Windows, and cleaning installing graphics drivers. All right, so what do you mean when you say clean boot? Do you mean cold boot? Did you already try to wipe the drive completely with a Windows USB thumb drive and reinstall? The reason I ask is the first thing we thought of was firewall/antivirus and permissions, but both of these would be resolved in a wipe. Let's try this. Install one of your games on a thumbstick or external drive. I don't care if it's slow. Then see if the game crashes while trying to run. Let us know what happens. No luck. I installed it on a USB, but it still ended up crashing. Well, sir, you are looking at RAM or motherboard. Let's see. Did he say he swapped out the RAM? Updated all drivers, scanned for faulty RAM, and checked RAM speeds. Okay. Okay, so sounds like we are dealing with RAM, CPU, or RAM/motherboard/CPU. Is your RAM overclocked with a XMP profile? If so, let's try to remove it to see if it makes a difference. If that does not work, then update the BIOS of the motherboard to see if that resolves the problem. All right, so here's the thing. So because he said he had no luck with it, and when he installed it on the thumb drive, it still crashed on him. So basically his game is still crashing on him, even though he's going through thumb drive. So he's not even using the same hard drive at this point, and it's still crashing. Well, it's actually trying to load into memory for a video game. So if it's still crashing on him, that means he still has a memory problem, even though he already checked his memory and it said it was fine. So if that's the case, the best way to handle that is to remove his XMP profile if he has one, because an XMP profile may mask itself that everything is fine, but you may have never ran a stress test for more than an hour, so you may not know that it's actually having a problem. But its stress test will, or it's tests that you may run on it may come back okay, but it may be not good to run it at that speed for the long term. So go ahead and remove the XMP profile to see if that makes a difference. That's probably one of the best things that you can do for this kind of situation if we're talking about a game loading into memory. Now, of course, you can say, okay, what about the graphics memory? We can look at that as well, but we'll do these two first before we actually look at the graphics memory and then take it from there. If this does not work, then update the BIOS and motherboard to see if that resolves the issue. Plus, we also want to update the BIOS motherboard before we actually get to the whole graphics card situation, and then start telling him about the graphics card update, just in case neither one of these work. But just giving him two options that he can try, that way he can get back to us and let us know exactly what happens. Okay, Blozer, hope that helps. Keep us posted. This is kind of getting like an interesting issue. Is it just us? No, there's somebody else talking. Let me see if he said something different. I didn't want to add any. Okay, yeah. So this was him actually talking about his build. So he had a 5800X, an RTX 3080, and a B550F ROG Strix motherboard with an 850 watt gold PSU. Okay, Blozer, keep us posted. Okay. Oh, now it closes. Okay. So the reason why I started with 3 instead of 6, because 6 was the one we didn't do yesterday, was because 3 wouldn't close, but now it's closing. So whatever. Whatever. We're already out of order, so I'll take it. Whatever. I'm not tripping. Okay. So this one is from Wolf Sipping Coffee. All right. I like the name. Let's do this. Wolf Sipping Coffee writes, can't install all Hot Wheels Unleashed DLC when I have the room available. I have 140 gigs of free on internal, and I can't install 9 DLC packs that's 10 megabytes each. Now, of course, okay, don't ever do what I did. I said 10 megabytes, but this is clearly megabits. If you say this is megabytes, you will get fired. So, so if you ever get in the tech world, please do not misrepresent or misspeak this ever. If I was given an interview and I wrote this down and somebody pronounced it megabytes instead of megabit, I will bid them adieu, because you have not troubleshot or worked in the environment enough, or even studied the environment enough to know what that means just by looking at it. So people may not understand what you're talking about. Like, for example, if you have, a 10 gig a 10 gig interface, and you hook up a 40 gig interface to it or something along those lines, and you're not aware of how that's set up, then you can have problems. You see what I'm saying? So, you may have the wrong SFP, things of that nature. So because of that, you always want to make sure that people actually know the right connotation for different things. Now, every time, some people may mess up, but I just wanted to go ahead and point that out there. This really does say megabit, but I'm just saying megabyte because I know that's what he meant. Can't install all the Hot Wheels, even though it's 9 DLC. So basically, it's a total of 90 megabytes, which is about 100 megabytes, and he has 140 gigs free. Okay. Well, what happens if you uninstall the game, then reboot the system, then reinstall the game? Speaking of which, let's see what he's actually talking about, because that's kind of an interesting one. Let's go to Xbox. He said Hot Wheels? Hot Wheels Unleashed. Let's see. Search. Oops, sorry. My mic is in the way, so I'm trying to Hot Wheels WH. Maybe he may be mistaken on the actual file size. That's the reason why I want to check. Hot Wheels X? No, X is back. Okay, so Hot Wheels Unleashed. Okay, so this is straight up free with Game Pass. Got it. Okay, so he's actually talking about these little fun packs here. Little fun packs. Wow. I sound like an old man. Oh, he's just talking about these little fun packs right here. These little fun ones right here. That's all he's talking about. He's not talking about anything special. He's just talking about these little guys. Okay, so let's see here. I wonder if it tells you details. Okay, yeah, he's right. Oh, that's the approximate size. Let's see if it's actually telling the truth here. So let's download it real quick. Got it. You got the purchase. Okay, cool. View and queue. Let's see if it's actually okay. So Microsoft Store is updating, and this is queued. Install now. Nobody worried about you, Microsoft Store. We're trying to troubleshoot somebody's issue. No, that's right. It's 10.11 megabytes. And let's see. I don't have the problem, and I don't even have the game. So if that's the case, and it was able to download, let's go ahead and check our folder just to make sure it's there. B, okay, and B, and B again. Okay, there we go. And then system, storage devices, and internal storage, view contents, groups. No, that's the bizarre adventure thingy that we did previously. Own games. Ooh, I have Call of Duty Black Ops on the Xbox 360. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Where'd it go? Queue updates? Or maybe it just doesn't show it. Where'd it go? Q1, free up space. Okay, well, That's something. Okay, cool. So it's right here, and it is 10.1. So he's telling the truth. So for some reason, okay, you know what? We can do this. We can do this. So we can be like, okay, well, what happens if you uninstall the game, then reboot the system, then reinstall the game? Also, what happens if you, well, okay, I don't even think you can download them in bulk. I think you can only download them one at a time. Can you download them in bulk? I don't think so. When we were looking at them, it never gave us an option to download in bulk. We just kind of clicked on one and then it let us install it. Let me just make sure and we should be good. Just need to know, just for sanity checks. Search. No. HOT, just real quick. I just need to know for my own sanity. I don't think you can. Oh, for crying out loud. Hot W. There we go. Okay. So when we went to the whole game of the year and when we were looking at these packs, I just wanted to make sure there's no option to install all. No, doesn't look like it. It's included with Game Pass, or you can buy it. So yeah, I was worried that maybe he actually bought it without the Game Pass, but I'm imagining he probably just got it with the included Game Pass. So if we do this, this is what I needed to see, and this is what I thought he was doing. So if we're here, whenever it loads, I think it actually shows you more than just the game itself, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, this is exactly what I was wondering. If he's here and he's choosing select all, you see what I'm saying? And so he's choosing select all and selecting it and it's trying to install all at the same time. This is exactly what I was worried about. So that looks like it can be a thing. So you can install in bulk on the Xbox. Okay, well, what happens if you uninstall the game, then reboot the system, then reinstall the game? Also, are you installing or are you trying to install in bulk from the, what screen was that? From the add-on screen. From the add-on screen. If so, try to install one at a time to see if that makes a difference. Tried with mine and it installed just fine. So maybe we are dealing with well, here, there's no point in saying that. What I was thinking in my head was I tried it with mine, so maybe we're dealing with a corrupted hard drive or something along those lines. But these aren't the steps to fix a corrupted hard drive. These are just steps to make sure that he installed it properly and it's not, having issues because you tried to download in bulk. So yeah, we're just trying to make sure that that isn't the issue as of right now. But if this does not fix this issue, then yes, we will be looking at a corrupted drive, in which case, uninstall the game or try to wipe the drive to see if that resolves the issue. Okay, so this is for Wolf Snipe Sipping Tea. Mr. Wolf, hope that helps. Keep us posted. That's an interesting one. I like that one. That was good. Allows us to kind of go all the way into the whole Xbox situation. We're getting better. Compared to when we first got the Xbox, we've gotten a lot better. So this is probably at dialysis. So it's probably at dialysis. Sorry, bro. So there's a hurry on this one here because he's on dialysis. So swap to low power mode, now having waking issues. I have a launch day Xbox Series X connected to an LG C2 via HDMI 2.1. We've run into this issue before with the Xbox and the LG panels, with them going with HDMI and then you having they basically losing connectivity between each other because they both got updated. Never had this issue before, but since swapping to power saving mode, when turning the Xbox on, it'll sometimes be a squashed aspect ratio or set to 1080p instead of 4K. Worked fine on standby. Okay. Anyone ever run into this? Any suggestions? A restart fixes it, but it's annoying when it happens. Okay. And when you have power saving mode off, Does that resolve the issue? Just need to verify. What is he talking about, by the way? Power saving mode? I do not remember seeing a power saving mode, good sir, but I also wasn't looking. Accessibility, maybe? Idle options, yep. Show me things when idle, dim screen. Power saving. Break reminder? No, no. I'm an adult. Preferences. Oh, sorry, press the wrong button. Part of my brain went Nintendo Switch, and so I pressed A to B and B to A. Okay, power options. There we go. Shut down, choose how to console, or sleep. So he said worked fine on standby. Customize power options. What does he mean when he says standby? HDMI, CEC devices. Other devices can turn on console. Well, this may be his problem, but keeps my games and apps up to date. Keep my console up to date. Turn off after. Turn off after. What does he mean by? What does he mean by power saving mode? There is power options. Let's make sure we're not missing something here. Languages, console info, storage devices, access restriction, backup and transfer, and time, and then device connections, and then your preferences, which was your idle options, and your accessibility. So the idle options was the same thing as what we were looking at in general. So that doesn't tell us much. So I'm not sure exactly what he means. So if we're here, then we're talking about the power options. Just need to verify. Also, what do you mean by power saving mode? Are you talking about the sleep option on the Xbox or the customize power options or the customized power options? Or are we referring to the LG? So we need to make that distinction on this one. So with this one here, there's no way for us to know. We're sitting here, guessing at it. But he said, never had this issue before. But since swapping to power saving mode, when turning the Xbox on, it'll sometimes be a squash aspect ratio or set to 1080p. But he never mentions who he turned power saving mode on. And I sure as hell didn't remember seeing power saving mode in the Xbox menu. It said, I remember the power options in the sleep settings, but I don't remember it saying power saving mode. Now there is in the sleep, it does say that it will save power. If you do the console shuts down in the energy saving mode, but it doesn't really say power saving, So I just wanted to make sure, like for example, if you choose sleep, console uses more power, console starts up faster, supports waking the console remotely, console sleeps instead of shutting down, versus the console shuts down, supports automatic updates, so on and so forth. And then the customized power options as well. So I wasn't exactly sure what he was referring to, because he may also literally be talking about the LG and him turning power saving modes on the LG. So we just need to have that distinction so we understand exactly where he's coming from here before we can even proceed, really. Yeah, we'll go with that because we can troubleshoot either, but it really kind of just depends on what he's talking about. So yeah. Oh, well, let's do this here. Could you provide a picture? Could you provide a picture of the settings you changed? There we go. Okay, so that way we can get a picture just to see what he changed. It may just be us because we're still relatively new, or at least I'm still relatively new to the Xbox. But yeah, I just don't remember seeing it saying low power mode. If we're talking about the energy saving mode, you know, by shutting down the actual Xbox, then okay. But I just need to make sure that we're talking about that distinction because both devices actually have a power saving mode, the LG C2 as well as the Xbox Series X. Okay, Mr. Probably, let us know what you find out there and just let us know. We're the only person that actually replied to him, so we'll see what happens there. Now, of course, this may be a little late too. So, oh, actually, you know what? It is probably a little late. This is group 6 from yesterday, so then I don't know. No, nobody's replied. Okay. Then yeah, he'll let us know. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, I hate to see it. It looks like a fire hazard. Server room after it was cleaned up. Oh my goodness, look at this monitor. Oh dear Lord, man, they're trying to bring me back. I can already tell you that these servers are going to be older servers just from looking at that monitor right there that's used to. Generally, if they have a monitor like this and it's kind of like an older monitor, then more than likely it's only used to monitor all of the servers here that are connected up and basically switch between the console of each of them. That way you can actually just check it from here. And a lot of times they actually really do have older monitors that they're using because there's no point in upgrading because it doesn't make a difference. It's going to be, you know, like 720p anyway. It's not going to be a good signal or the greatest signal because it's using VGA. So 9 times out of 10, this is kind of what you do see in most server rooms. But you know, it may be a little bit more modern than this particular screen, but that's pretty much what you do see. But this right here is a travesty. I have friends that would have cussed me out if they saw something like that. Like they would literally lose it seeing something like this because like when you're a NOC engineer, this right here never happens. Because you don't know what to do. If somebody tells you to go ahead and swap a cable, or if they tell you to go ahead and install something and hook something up to a server or something, you have no idea. You don't even know which cable to use. So yeah, it's crazy. This is cray cray. like tech spaghetti. ETTI. Oh God. Spaghetti. No. Okay. Spaghetti. Okay. You know what? I'm not Italian. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's just sad. Let's pretend I didn't know how to spell, or I knew how to spell spaghetti properly. What kills me is this right here, where you basically take the slack and you create a little bow on it. So well, which is okay instead of it running, but it's still kind of lazy. So yeah, this is an L. This is a hard L because you paying some poor intern to take care of this is going to be horrible. All right, but moving on. Okay, Joni. Yeah, Joni Smile. Okay. When I first read it, I thought it said Joni Simile, but I was like, Joni Simile, what is Joni similar to? But yeah, Joni Smile. Joni Smile writes, aux to USB-C cable adapter works, but not if it has a USB port as well. Okay, so this was an interesting one. I have an aux adapter for my Galaxy S22 for a while, but it was annoying that I couldn't charge the phone while listening to audio, so I got an adapter with a charging port and an auxiliary port. I'm guessing they may have like the old school AirPods, the actual ones that actually plug into the 3.5 millimeter jack. For some reason though, it doesn't work with the double port, but perfectly fine with the just aux one. Anyone help? Yeah, so the aux one isn't sharing the audio connection, but the one with the USB-C is most likely. Do you have a picture of the aux to USB-C you are trying to use, as well as the one without a USB-C cable on the end? Also, the Samsung devices typically want to dock when plugged into a USB-C port, meaning the audio signal is being sent to the device that can receive it. So there's just aux, then aux with charge. Oh, hold on. hold on. That was just work. Can in a bit. Do. All right. So he's saying it was just okay. So he was just having a straight aux cable, and then he said, and then aux with charge. Okay, so he has a USB-C into a auxiliary plus a USB-C. Yeah, what I was trying to figure out was the model that he was trying to use. Just aux works, but aux with charge always plays audio over my phone speakers. That's exactly what I just said. That's exactly what I just said. Yeah, that's exactly. No, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That USB-C port you are using passes audio when hooked to a receiver, but hooked to a device that supports it, thus disabling the 3.5 millimeter jack. If you plug it into a device that only can charge like a wall plug, does the 3.5 millimeter jack work? Yeah, that's exactly what we said. So yeah, with this one here, the USB-C is actually passing audio. So because of that, you can't actually hear it in the auxiliary. You'll never get it to pass if the USB-C is, I mean, you said you hear it in your speaker, so that tells you everything you needed to know. It can't actually carry audio in the actual USB-C and the actual 3.5 millimeter jack. So that's what's going to be the problem on this one here. And there's no way around that, unless you have one that literally says that it literally says that USB-C is power only, essentially. But at the same time, those guys here, when you try to plug them to your computer, it won't do anything. It'll just use it as a trickle charge of power. It doesn't pass data. So, and you notice that that is usually with the Razer Kishi, the PlayStation Backbone, things of that nature. Those guys there, they have USB-C ports on them, but they're actually used for charging. They don't actually pass data. His passes data, so he can't use it properly. And that's what he's running into, is basically trying to turn it into the console dock, which is what's giving him that problem. So yeah, with this one here, there's nothing that we can really do on this one. You just have a USB-C to an auxiliary USB-C auxiliary dongle that is also passing data. And yeah, that's the reason why you have that problem. So if you had maybe gone with a cheaper one, you might be able to find one that's just power only. But yeah, that's what that is. No, we'll leave it at that, because that kind of talks about it. But yeah, that's all that's really going on here, is that his USB-C cable is passing data. And because it's passing data, it's also passing the audio signal, which means that it can't be picked up in the 3.5 millimeter jack. Alrighty, good. Cool stuff. Thanks for the pictures. Those are always fun to see. What is this? Oh yeah, okay. So Xbox select folder infinite load. Select folder? Whenever I use an app that needs me to open media and the select folder window appears, my directories files never load up. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Xbox select folder infinite load. When I use the app that needs me to open media and select a folder, this window appears. Select media. When I use an app that's what? Let's make sure. I don't think I actually have that option. I would have to install like Spotify or something. Let's see. Let's see. An app that has him open a file. An app that has him open a file. Link system, blah 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 blah. Remote features, blah 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 blah. Media remote, blah 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 blah. Digital assistant, accessories. Okay, well, we're getting close. So that's that symbol that we just saw there. That's the symbol that he's talking about. And preferences, capture and share. You know what? Let's see. Accessibility, game chat, controller. Okay, so there's no way to actually see it from ours, because I don't have any program that you can actually go to that actually pull something from the file. So what we can do, we can ask them for an example just to kind of get an idea, but basically just means that you probably more than likely have a corrupted drive. This typically means your drive may be corrupted. Could you let us know how you got here so we can test as well? Also, for the fix, you may want to try a reset or an uninstall of the software you are using that is getting you here, or a reset of the console itself, thus resetting the hard drive. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We don't necessarily need to get to this in order to troubleshoot it. The fact that it's telling you that it can't open a particular file, and we know the file is located on his SSD, tells us that that's going to be probably what the problem is. So because of that, basically you would either want to do a uninstall of the software itself and a reinstall, or just a reset of the console itself, depending on the situation. It also could mean that the disk is full. We could probably say that. It also could mean that the disk is almost full. All right, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't want to actually tell him how to go to this right here, because like he probably knows, and if not, and also I want to make sure that he answers these guys. So that way we don't, ask him too many questions and are afraid that he's only going to answer the last one. So Xbox support, posted by less than Ricky. Oh yeah, less than Ricky. Okay, cool. I said that right. So less than, let us know what happens on that one. Okay, off of Xbox onto Windows. Okay, cool. All right. So this one here is from Ruben. So recently I started my computer so it can boot with my SSD. Now after my computer won't connect to my monitor after booting. One way I fix it is by laying the computer on its side, but sometimes, like right now, it just won't connect to my PC. So I try to take it out of my RAM, take out my RAM CMOS battery and putting it back on the back end or switching the HDMI, and it sometimes helps, but other times it won't help. Just waiting for a couple hours will fix it. It sounds more like the GPU is not getting full connectivity to the monitor, and you laying it on its stomach is changing the degree of which gravity is being applied to the cable, which basically means swap out the cable going into your monitor to see if it makes a difference. Also try a different input on the graphics card and monitor if you can. I was thinking as I was reading it that he may be talking about a laptop. I tried unplugging the GPU. I tried unplugging the GPU and the cable for the GPU, cleaning the GPU, then plugging the GPU and the cable back in, and it booted. Everything seems fine currently. Sweet. Sweet. We will graciously accept the W. Let us know if the problem persists. Yeah, we're gonna take that W, homie. Give us our win, sir. I'm gonna have to have sounds, so like whenever we get wins and assist trophies or we take an L, I want to have sounds for it so everybody's aware of what just happened and transpired today as we graciously accept our W. We are not like LeBron. We're not gonna be like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, no. We're like, W, we knew we were gonna win. We knew we had the right level of support, and we're the reason why you fixed your no. Thank you. We appreciate it. So good luck. We appreciate it. Let us know if you run into that issue again. Okay, group 6. Cool. All right. So back to this guy. Group 4. What time is it? 18. That's not bad. We're doing okay. We still have what, 4 groups left? That's not bad. Group 4. This is from MKF MTR because apparently he is allergic to vowels. So Mr. Consonant says, hard drive took a beating in earthquake? Works very slowly. Oh, dear Lord. Hi, I used to live in Hatay with my family until a couple days ago when the earthquakes destroyed my city. I'm sorry for your loss. We backed up a lot of old pictures, videos, etc. to this hard drive back then. It's the only memory archive we could pick up before we left the city. I want to copy the drive's contents to a computer. It seemed to work, but very slowly. A turtle can navigate in a house faster than I can navigate in the drive, and copying stuff is painfully slow nightmare. It can wait more than an hour before copying each image, slows down the computer to a halt as well. I looked at some stuff I managed to copy, and there are pictures that got corrupted. Some don't open and some opens but looks partially corrupted. Is there anything I can do to make this process smoother? Can I do something for the corrupted files? If you think that there is a better subreddit or website that can help me, feel free to tell. Thanks in advance. Whew. Okay. Always like the issues where we actually get a chance to help someone, like truly help someone. So with this one here, all right. So the first thing you would want to think of is like, okay, what about hard drive repair? Okay, but you don't. But does anybody know of any hard drive repairs software out there that doesn't possibly destroy it even further, or might be some type of antivirus or malware that you may put on this system unintentionally? Best drive recovery software. And not an ad. So let's try Tech Radar. That's a legit place. Restore deleted files and folders on any device. No, that's gonna cost some money. Fast deep scan function, highly advanced data recovery tool. 99.9% recovery rate. Well, it's a little expensive, but the vast number of features you get for the investment means that in reality, it represents great value for the money. And when you add this app's great performance, ease, USA customer support, and a tidy user interface, you have a clear winner. I don't like recommending stuff I've never tried. That's just me personally, because it's a bad reflection on me if it turns out bad. But let's try just to kind of point them in the right direction. Let's just check a few of them and see if, okay, so they all say the same thing. Stellar data recovery or ease USA or ease US. Let me make sure the other one said the same thing. Stellar data recovery or ease US. Oh no, this one said recover it, but it also has stellar data recovery. It's a little on the expensive side. Recover it. Now, here's the thing. He actually said that he was able to open the images, but the images look degraded. That actually doesn't really sound like a corrupted file. That sounds more so like the way the picture was taken. It could be a corrupted file, but generally corrupted files don't open. So it's kind of an interesting situation he may find himself in. But what we can do is we can send him to something like this and then let him choose from there. And so with this here, we find it interesting that the files open, that corrupted files would open. So with this here, we find it interesting that corrupted files would open. Typically, if they are corrupted, then there is little you can do to restore them outside. Actually, you know what? There are a few things you can do. Typically, if they are corrupted, they won't open. But there are some drive repair tools that may help you recover lost info. But so if he's trying to recover files and pictures, you know, what I would do is I would actually put it in Photoshop, but you can't tell somebody to do that. They may not know what Photoshop is or how to use it, or Lightroom and how to use it. So we can't actually say that. Repair tools that may help you recover the lost info, if there is any. Outside of that, I would personally use Photoshop or Lightroom It actually is called something totally different. Classic. That's what I was thinking of. Outside of that, I would personally use Photoshop or Lightroom Classic to try to restore or save the image. But these are usually paid for apps. But you can get discounts with student level, with student edu emails. Let me see. I hate giving somebody an option that is money related, especially when he just went through an earthquake. Outside of that, I would personally use Photoshop or Lightroom Classic to try to restore or save the image, but these are usually paid for apps. You know what? Let's look at one more thing. I just want to make sure we point him in the right direction. Restore a blurry image. Adobe. Yeah, unsharp. Yeah, there's a few things you can do. So basically, there's just the fix to sharpen, reduce camera shake, image sharpness, stuff like that, lens blur. There's a few things you can do to try to fix a blurry image. But I've always done it in Photoshop or Lightroom. So yeah, we'll just stick with that. We'll just stick with that and just go from there. So with this. Is this group 6? No, it's not group 6. So yeah, so this is brand new. So basically with this here, we find it interesting that a corrupted files would open. Typically, if they are corrupted, they won't open, but there are some drive repair tools that may help you recover lost info if there is any. Outside of that, I would personally use Photoshop or Lightroom Classic to try to restore or save the image, but these are usually paid for apps, but you can get discounts with student edu emails. Yeah, that's kind of going to be the only reason why my answer is trash is because I've only used Adobe. Even when I was in school, I used Adobe. So I've never gone outside of Adobe, outside of, like Sony. Like Sony has its own software for reading RAW files. And I've done the Sony software, but I don't know for sure if it can actually recover a corrupted image. I know you can on Photoshop and Lightroom to a certain extent. So that's the reason why I say Adobe, because that's something I do stand by. But this right here, it's better to just show him the location just in case. But I don't even know if there's anything to recover here. I think he can actually read his hard drive. It's just that he's having some issues getting those files off. But if it was me, what I would say to this is to go ahead and let it run and let it do its thing. And just try to get as many pictures as humanly possible, just in case that drive is corrupted and you're running out of time, is what I would say for here. But if it were me, I would try to get my pictures off, good or bad, as quickly as humanly possible, just in case the drive fails. In other words, just let it run in the background. Just let it run in the background. Yeah, just let it do its thing, man. I think we're against time on this one. We're not exactly sure how much damage that hard drive took from the earthquake. So because of that, let's go ahead and try to get our images off, because I would hate for you to lose that. And that's kind of the way I feel about it. There are a few things that we can try, trying Adobe, Photoshop, and Lightroom to see if we can actually recover that image, but we're kind of wasting time. And then on top of that, we can also try to do a repair of the drive with something like this to try to do some type of recovery disk and make sure you recover any lost images or any images that may have been corrupted or messed up in the result of the earthquake or the drive itself, malfunctioning or crashing. But it's hard to say without, giving information. But the best way kind of to handle this situation is just go ahead and let that guy download and get those images off as quickly as possible. And then you can worry about the details later. Alrighty, Mr. MK, keep us posted. All right, let me get ready here. All right, show me your child. I remember this. This is the person with the Xbox accessories, but wouldn't tell us which accessory. My controller seems to work perfectly fine in games, but not in a single UI. Everything from Minecraft to Spotify, my controller takes like 8 to 15 tries to move up in a UI. Is this a hardware or software problem? but he doesn't mention what system he has. Okay, so not even in the main UI screen, whatever console you are running. What about with YouTube or Netflix apps? Same thing. What system is this for? Are you trying to also try to plug the controller in directly to see if it makes a difference? Also, how many controllers do you have? He said, I've plugged the controller in directly, and it happens usually in the keyboard interface or Minecraft inventory. No trouble at all scrolling through models in COD or selecting games from the home screen party's Discord servers. So you are saying you still get the issue when plugged in directly? What device is this? Is this an Xbox or a PS5? This is an Xbox. Apology for any late response. Very busy with school lately. No problem. No problem. This is kinda what we do anyway, LOL. So with this one here, let's see. So you had that UI problem, and it's taking forever for it to actually go through the drive. And this is an Xbox. Oh my lord! Is it a 360? Is it the original Xbox? Is it a Series S, a Series X? But what model is this? LOL. We're not getting very far, man. The earlier models used hard drives, thus it may take some time to load the devices load information. May take some time to load the information versus SSDs or NVMe's. So yeah, we need to know a model, bro. Like that's not helping. But what we would say to this is that you may want to try to, well, you're getting a sluggish response. You could try to uninstall the program that you're having the problem with. For Minecraft, or selecting no trouble at all scrolling. Okay, so he doesn't have trouble with anything else. It's only Minecraft. Also, I would try to uninstall Minecraft, then reload the console. When it comes back up, re-download Minecraft to see if it makes a difference. There we go. So I would say that. So I would say try to uninstall Minecraft and reload the console. When it comes back up, re-download Minecraft to see if it makes a difference. So yeah, we just need to know some more information on this one here, particularly if you're using the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, Series S or X. Depending on which one you're using dictates what drive you have. So it may be slow because of the drive itself, but there's no way to know with no information. So, you know, he's being a little short, but we know why. At least let us know. So, you know, we'll just give him some information and things to go after. That's the reason why I went ahead and added what I would do next on this one here, because, you know, he's not able to respond quickly. So we just have to be a little bit quicker on the uptake and just ask him multiple questions. That way he can go through them and respond whenever he has time. So, Mr. Child, keep us posted. Oh, dear Lord. What does it say? Maya Ingenue? Oh, Maya Angelou, but Maya Ingenue says, coworker said she would only accept an official Apple mouse. So I dug this out of storage and left it on her desk. Wow. The fact that you have that, wow, that thing must be worth a fortune, as in a couple of pennies if you sold it back when it launched. It would be worth a fortune. Did I say that right? Wow, that thing must be worth a fortune, as in a couple of pennies. If you sold it back when it launched, it would be worth a fortune. Yeah, I would I would, obviously you're trolling, but you know what? I would still try to use that because that's kind of nerd I am. I don't know what kind of cable it actually would have used back then because I've never had those. Like those iMacs that were different colors. I always wanted one, and I never could buy one. The iMac big monitor, different colors, images. Yeah, these guys. They had one that came out in teal, and I remember when I was a kid, I so wanted this. I thought this was the coolest thing on earth ever created by any human ever in existence. I so wanted this. I thought it was so freaking cool. Plus, teal is my favorite color, so I was already on it. And this is Mac OS X. Yeah, 500 megahertz, Power PC G3. And I always wanted this, but we can never afford it. And the school couldn't afford it either. So I didn't feel too bad because if we couldn't afford it, the school couldn't afford it either. So we never actually got them. Even at school, we never had them. But man, oh man, I always wanted that. When it first came out and it had like 30 different colors, I thought it was just the coolest thing in the world. And I've totally forgot what we were actually talking about with this. Oh, with that, yeah. So yeah, this is even older than that. So yeah, with this one here, man, that's pretty cool. There are certain Mac products that kind of live on in infamy in people's head whenever they first come out. I'm sure like the kids of today will think the MacBook Pro the same way we think about the iMac from back then. Ansel camera not moving. I can look around, but it doesn't respond to WASD. How do I fix? I don't know what an Ansel camera is. I know a lot of cameras, but I've never heard one called an Ansel camera. Oh. NVIDIA Ansel. Capture professional grade screenshots like never before. This is from the GeForce experience. Here, let's swap off and let's look and see if we can find it. So, NVIDIA GeForce experience. So Ansel? Home settings. Ansel? What is that? Oh. You mean that thing that's right in our freaking face and we don't even notice it even though it's sitting there looking at us like we're crazy? Okay, so NVIDIA Ansel, take amazing in-game photos of your gameplay. Okay. View supported games and applications. Oh, okay, that makes me feel better. All right. Okay, whatever. View supported games, view full system requirements. Okay, so basically you just need literally nothing. But how do you do the picture capture? Do you just set it in the settings? Take amazing in-game photographs of your gameplay. So if we go here and we go to our settings and performance monitoring, video capture, audio, photo mode. Okay. Photo mode allows you to photo support games using NVIDIA Ansel. Game filter customizes the experience. Okay, cool. So basically it's just going to be a shortcut. Performance. Switch to custom overlay. Toggle custom overlay. Toggle broadcast. Toggle camera on and off while broadcasting. Toggle comments. Manual recordings. Game filter. Capture. Okay. Photograph of the scene. So Alt F2. Let me see if I can actually send it to Alt F2. I don't know if I can, but I'm willing to try. So click here. Alt F2. Did I break something? I don't even know what may have happened there. Yeah, I don't think it actually does it from here because I'm pressing Alt, but it's reading Alt from my computer because Alt is the start of tab. So I'm not sure if it actually went through, but okay, they're talking about NVIDIA Ansel, which is actually right here, and it's actually just set up to a customizable button in your keyboard shortcuts. So let's go ahead and move back here now that we know what he's talking about. So right here, I can look around, but it doesn't respond to WASD. What? Okay, I apologize. I am not sure what you are referring to. Do you mean NVIDIA Ansel? NVIDIA Ansel? Or is this a camera that has the ability to follow you? Is there any other Ansel cameras that anyone else knows of? uh, Ansel? NVIDIA. Ansel camera. Like if you would have said Sony or Canon or Nikon, any of these, I would have been able to actually know what he's talking about, but I'm not sure what he means. We'll just go ahead and post it. I wanted to actually at least give him an option of what to troubleshoot, but I don't know what he's talking about. I thought he was talking about NVIDIA Ansel for a second there, but at the same time, the NVIDIA Ansel, it doesn't move. I don't know what he means. I don't know what he means. I don't know. I think he may be trying to set up a live stream with NVIDIA, which may be the case here, and maybe that's what he's talking about. But we just need some more information just to verify, and then we may be able to set it up in our own lab. But we'll see what he's saying. We'll just go ahead and put that there as a starter, and then we'll come back to it later. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the other one. Blowser. So Blowser had an issue with the game crashing for no discernible reason, and we was talking about Dark and Darker and Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, I think we already worked him, didn't we? I'm pretty sure we already worked him. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so yeah, we essentially he had an issue, and his games keep crashing. So I've come across several games that close to desktop after a few minutes. I can launch them and interact with the menus for a few minutes, maybe even get a little gameplay, but after a few minutes, the game just closes. The only place I've been able to see any sort of error message is in the event viewer. It says error and information. I have attached the screenshots. So basically it gave a fault whenever he was trying to open the program, essentially what it's saying, which in this case was dungeoncrawler.exe, and it changes depending on which application it is. I said, what do you mean when you say he tried a clean boot? Do you mean a cold boot? Did you already try to wipe the drive completely with a Windows USB thumb drive and reinstall? The reason I ask is the first thing we thought of was firewall, antivirus, and permissions, but both of these will be resolved in a wipe. He's already wiped his computer. I just want to make that very clear. He's already wiped it. Let's try this. Install one of your games on a thumbstick or external drive. I don't care if it's slow. Then see if the game crashes when trying to run. Let us know what happens. Yeah, we've done this before. I think he may have more than one ticket. Sorry for the confusion with clean boot. I meant going through all the files and disabling them so they're excluded on startup, except for necessary Windows files. Gradually, you add files back in until the problem occurs again. I did a wipe and reinstall of Windows with a USB, but to no avail. I'll get back to you soon with your suggestion. But you did my suggestion, didn't you? So he wiped his computer, yet he still has the issue. And his issue was that I can launch them for games for a second, but then it crashes, and he's wiped and it still had the issue. So it wiped and it still had the issue with games crashing. So that means that you either have a hard drive or a memory issue, and it appears that I was working the hard drive side of it. Okay. In the meantime, if you have a XMP profile on your RAM, go ahead and turn it off to see if it makes a difference. Thanks. We don't know where it's at. We don't know if the issue is in hard drive or if the issue is in memory. It really kind of depends on how far he gets before it actually crashes on him. So it could be a possibility that he's loading it into memory, and as he's loading it into memory, that's when it crashes. But we won't know unless we have him, like try to remove the XMP profile to see if that makes a difference. Okay, so Blowser, keep us posted here. We just need some more information in order for us to proceed. So hopefully it shouldn't take us that long, but once we know, we should probably be able to point you in the right direction there. Okay, group 4 done. All right, group 5 is up here. Let's go ahead and close a few of these here. This has been pretty productive because I mean we got a lot of issues, including some people that we actually that we don't get a chance to help very often. People that are victims of earthquakes and stuff like that. So let's do this. Virtual meeting microphone echo. I have two executives who work out of the same office. Each one refuses to wear headphones and are terrible at utilizing the mute button. I know this feeling. I hate using headphones as well because they hurt my ears. Even the Logitech C920 Pro webcam, which is the default webcam for most situations and most people, like for example, if you're getting ready to start a live stream, the Logitech C920 is probably the camera you want to go with because it's nice, it's portable, it can give you 1080p. I think they had one that also delivers 4K, but this one here gives 1080p at 30 frames per second. And then they have different models as well. So C920, this was the S, but the X I think has 4K or something. I don't remember. But yeah, it's a very common webcam, especially in the commercial industry, and use the built-in microphone. Each have a Logitech C920 and use the built-in microphone. Obviously, this is already set for chaos, but outside of telling them to go on the same meeting in separate rooms, what are my options? I believe some magical microphones could do the trick, but I've already tried with a Blue Yeti on the cardioid setting. Same result. Not trying to break the bank, but willing to splurge if I can get this off my list of issues. Thanks for any help you can. Virtual meeting echo, microphone echo. Each have a Logitech C920 Pro webcam and then use the built-in microphone. Actors who work out of the same office. Work out of the same office in the same room, as in they are near each other. You said the Logitech C920. Anybody who has a Logitech C920 means they do not have a laptop. So I don't think he can move it. Because, okay, if you have a Logitech C920, then you obviously don't have a laptop, right? Unless your laptop camera is horrible and that's the reason why you have it. But it's okay to ask, do you have desktops or laptops? Do they have desktops or laptops? Because some people may not. Okay. So the reason why it's better to assume that they have desktops than to ask if they have desktops or laptops is because you want to let the other side know from a business sense that you know what you're talking about. You're able to adjust and join conclusions. Like for example, if you have a Logitech C920, what are the chances that you also have a laptop? Usually pretty slim. Usually most people who have a C920 means that they're probably having a desktop and they have the camera on top of the monitor. That's typically what you would use the Logitech C920 for because most laptops have cameras. So that's the reason why you want to actually just go ahead and say, so on these desktops here, are there other desktops in the office? Can you try a different desktop and have him log into that one and see if it fixes the issue? That kind of thing. Though that's how you would actually troubleshoot the issue. From a commercial side, but if we're bringing it back to a residential side, it's okay to ask them if they have desktops or laptops in the free sense that we're currently troubleshooting. I just want people to be aware that in these kind of situations, going ahead and assuming that it's a desktop is a good impression on the customer because it lets him know that you understand exactly what the task is at hand. Obviously, that he probably doesn't have some type of a laptop. If he does, it's a very low percentage. But for you to make that assumption makes it, even if it's wrong, just the idea of making that assumption lets them know that you know what you're talking about and you know what they're talking about. So I do want to make that distinction before I actually ask him. I'm only asking him because of the residential sense, but if this was a business, I would have never asked. I would have kept working as if it was a desktop issue. Do they have desktops or laptops? Also, what meeting software are you using? What meeting software are you using? And did they change the mic for the meeting software to be the Yeti? A lot of times, meeting software opens up with whatever the default is, and most likely it wasn't the Yeti. Yetis are really good. You may be able to still hear people, but if they're like very, very far from each other, you may have a better shot. But what you really want is a short SM7B if we really are in the exact same room and they can't move around. But that's neither here nor there because that's going to be super expensive. This man is talking about Blue Yetis and you're mentioning a 400 mic is kind of crazy. So yeah, we'll just go with this here and then we'll proceed on further. But what he really wants is a Shure. If they were in the same office and they were in the same room, then if you don't want their audio to be picked up by somebody else's audio, you get what's a Shure SM7B because its noise rejection for anybody behind you or around you is excellent. It's absolutely excellent. You can even tell in some videos and people doing live streams, a lot of times whenever you have guests on, people don't have Shures. They have like there's a lesser version that's like $100, $250 somewhere in that area. And those, when somebody cuts a person's mic, you can still hear them in the mic of others. Whereas this one here, if you cut this mic, you don't hear them at all. You may hear a little bit if they're yelling, but you don't hear as much. So that's the reason why you want to go with Shure SM7Bs because its noise rejection is better. But yeah, I probably should have let everybody know I'm really good with virtual meeting stuff as well, but probably as good as I am with networking. Alrighty, so we'll just go with that there. And Cosmo BMW, keep us posted. Alrighty, angry COVID. All right, I'm making a second post and hope someone will get this some more attention. Videos are briefly working, but then they cut out like you'll see the ads for a second, but then it will cut to the something went wrong with your screen. So we actually talked about this and gave them two options. Okay, typically this happens for one of two reasons. There is an issue with hardware acceleration. There's an issue with your pop-up blockers, good sir. So what we can start with first as it's easiest is to run in incognito mode to see if that resolves the problem. You can do this by right-clicking on the program and selecting run in private mode to see if that resolves your issue. I'm on the phone and I don't have a pop-up blocker, so that isn't the issue. He didn't even say he had a phone. What a and you want somebody to help you? That's cold-blooded, bro. I assume you are using YouTube app. What if you get to YouTube via a browser instead, such as Chrome or Safari? Also, smartphone or Android, be more specific. Okay, his name is Angry COVID, so I deserve that. I rebooted the phone and it started working, but I will let you know if it isn't a permanent solution. Okay, rebooting fixes so many things. Too bad we can't just reboot in life sometimes. Yeah. All right, 188. I'm just gonna skip right past it, bro. I'm just gonna skip right past it. I'm sorry. There's nothing that I can say here. Okay, am I a little bit jaded because we gave him all that dope troubleshooting methodology and he just told us that he had a cell phone, but he didn't even mention that he had a cell phone, but then telling us it's not the issue? Like, hold up, bro. Like, give us a second. Don't be like, oh, so that isn't the issue. Like, am I a little bitter? Yeah, but at the same time, I have nothing positive to add to this conversation. This conversation is getting silly. And on top of that, I think he's too angry to actually even reply with a logical answer. There's no point. So basically, if this fixes issue, we'll leave it alone and I'm not going to reply to it because there's nothing I can say. He's working as of right now. So we'll take our assist trophy and we'll just go quietly and annoyingly on to the next person. 1888 says PC restarts whenever loading a 3D app. Oh, I remember this one. Okay, let me get a drink and we can talk about this. All right, so when he says 3D app, he's talking about games like Valorant or Furmark, Overwatch, anything that actually causes us to use the graphics card. That's where he has a problem and his PC restarts. And then he said, I haven't noticed any high temperatures as well, in case anybody was thinking that. And I said, okay, so let's keep this to Overwatch because we have Overwatch. So you have Overwatch installed on a different drive, but you still have the issue, correct? What happens if we install Blizzard on the other drive as well? So with the new RAM 6, how many do you have? Also, could you go into Start, Event Viewer, Windows Log System, and go to the time of the crash? What critical errors do you see? Error code 41 does not count. The reason why we did this is because one of the commenters, one of the commenters was Inachu, was talking about how having only one RAM stick makes it so that the RAM actually overheats. So because of that, we went ahead and put that information in there. So we'll just go ahead and go back to see what he said. Hey, I tried installing the Blizzard launcher on the other drive as well. No luck. My old RAM sticks were 4 gigs. My new RAM stick is 8 gigs, 2 sticks. I have tried them in different slots. The only critical error code I see is error code 41, which is what we were talking about. I did a lot of regular errors though. Code 14, the device driver trusted platform module, okay, TPM, which prevents TPM, blah, blah, blah. For further help, please contact your manufacturer. Okay, so let's see here. So whenever he tries to load any game, let's see, it started with my PC randomly restarting during games, but it would happen with such small frequency that I didn't think of too much of it. It then started happening more and more, and eventually it would happen anytime I would load into a game or launch a 3D application. All of them I have tried, Firmark, Valorant, and Overwatch. Sometimes the app game would not even open. The application / game would not even open, and I would get some errors, but it not being installed properly. It even got to the point that my launchers didn't think my games were installed, and I'd have to download them again. So let me Windows 11. Does Windows 11 have battle? Yes, it does. Let me open a battle real quick. Oh god, I got to do the full login thing. Can I? This is. Oh yeah, I guess so. Hold on. Let me log in to battle.net. No one can see. Yeah. No. Oh man, I just put in that. Now I got to restart it for an update. Jesus. Come on. You know what? Forget it. I'm not even about to play that game. All right. But if we go back to Windows 11, I can't have somebody seeing my. Okay, here. Let's just try it. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second. This is silly, but we're going to need it. I don't think we can get around it. I'm going to need this information in order to troubleshoot this issue. Oh, there we go. Auth. Okay, and this is, what is this? This is battle. Oh, battle has its own. Jesus, Anthony. There we go. Had to approve it. All right, let me log in real quick here and we can switch over to the input so we can take a look. Yeah, that's fine. Close that. And do we miss one? Show us where it's installed. Nope, you got it. Welcome back. Okay, yeah, we got you. Got it. All right, cool. Everything looks good. Of course, there's another update. Okay, now we can switch to Windows 11. This looks safe. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, so what we're trying to do is trying to get to the settings. And let's go back and see what he was talking about one more time. He said, I tried installing the Blizzard launcher on the other drive as well. No luck. My old RAM, so he has 2 8 gig sticks. So he has 16 gigs. I have tried them in different slots. And essentially, whenever he plays any game, it would crash. Would not even open. After trying some things and doing some research, I eventually replaced my RAM, and that worked, fixing my issues. So once he replaced his RAM, it actually did fix his issues. However, after experiencing no issues for months, all of my issues have come back. I have decided to reinstall Windows through USB in a last attempt with no luck. I haven't noticed my temperatures are high. I've tried installing these apps on other drives, apps on my other drive, as well as running tests on both drives. Any help would be greatly appreciated. So he said he did try. I decided to reinstall Windows through USB in a last-ditch attempt with no luck. Okay, so even reinstalling Windows does not fix his issue, so you can't say software at this point. So what we can say, well, okay, you can say software, but I'm thinking more BIOS at this point. But what we would say with this one here, so I tried installing the Blizzard launcher on the other drive as well. No luck. My old RAM sticks were 4 gigs. The reason why I opened the Blizzard up is because what I was thinking about, there are certain games where you can change the settings of the game before it opens. So let's look at Call of Duty here. If we go down to options and then go to game settings, we may be able to make some changes here, and we can also try the repair. So I'm saying, so what we would do here is, one, the scan and repair would be the first thing I would say. And then the second one I would say would be on the game settings. And let's see here. App, downloads, game settings for Warzone. No. Notifications, beta, about. Did it freeze? Okay, it froze. Game settings, about. Okay, it doesn't really like go into the about page. I think the about page is actually opening something else up, but whatever. So the only thing that we can really do, scan and repair, show and explore, create a desktop shortcut, modify the install or uninstall. Region is a possibility, but that's not what I was thinking. I thought you can change the default settings that what it will load at, but maybe not for this particular game, but we'll keep it with this because we're with battle.net and we can at least try it with them. So here, let's go back. Let's give them the option of scan and repair because that's a good option. Okay, well, what happens if you choose the option under Overwatch settings, scan and repair? Does this do anything? Okay, so we'll try the scan and repair, and then we'll also say, could you try to update your BIOS to the most up-to-date version to see if it makes a difference? All right, so the reason why we're going with the update of BIOS is because he's already wiped the system. So if he's wiped the system, that means that he had to reinstall the graphics driver as well. So we can't say anything software related if he's already wiped the computer. He even said he wiped the computer with the thumb drive, which lets us know that he didn't try refresh. He just straight up wiped it. So because he straight up wiped it, we can't say, oh, try graphics card, oh, try this, oh, try that. Because if you wipe it and the issue persists, then we're not talking about a software issue with Windows. We're talking about something hardware related or BIOS related, so, or RAM related, hardware related. So he already replaced the RAM, so we'll go ahead and do the update to the BIOS to see if that makes a difference. Also, turn off his XMP profile. Update the BIOS plus, and if we'll just go up one more. And if this does not resolve the issue, try to remove any XMP profile you currently have set on your memory. Let us know if any of this fixes your issue. We are running a show and need closure. We have emotional problems. We need closure. All right. So what happens if you choose the option under Overwatch settings, scan and repair? That's always a good option. So even if you're not having an issue with Overwatch or something like that, or you're having an issue with Call of Duty, as long as it's a battle.net game, I always recommend the scan and repair. It's usually pretty useful at times, depending on what your issue is. Does this do anything? Also, could you try to update your BIOS to the most up-to-date version to see if it makes a difference? I have a pretty good feeling that may do it, but if not, removing the XMP profile for your memory, because at that point, if the BIOS update does not fix his issue, this man is looking at a hardware problem. So, we're gonna maybe have to remove a stick, stuff like that. But that's gonna have to be the situation here, because it appears that if it's crashing there, it's either gonna be between the handoff between the hard drive and memory, or the fact that it's in memory. And if the fact that it's in memory is the problem, then that's what we'd have to do. But this guy, I think it crashed no matter what you did at Firmark. So yeah, it crashes in Firmark software. So you could also say graphics. That's a possibility. But if graphics drivers fail, it would not show error code 41. It would actually show NVDL, whatever. It would also show error code 41. Don't get me wrong. I apologize for that. But it would also show like an NV, whatever, an NVIDIA type error. So we'll see what he says on this one here. This should be a lot of different things that we can try. But if none of these work, we're absolutely right. We would actually go for RAM or graphics card, provided none of the options that we give him work. Okay, 188, give us a message if this works. Okay, old Instagram text. Okay, so we're back to this Instagram issue. All right, I'm ready. Okay, so this is from Jackson Septicon Jackson Septicson EXE. Okay, Jackson writes, all Instagram text randomly disappeared. So we talked about this. So I found an old group chat I made on Instagram in 2017. I was going to show my girlfriend the old cringe text on them, but suddenly they all disappeared no matter what account I add to the group. What do I do? And we said, nothing. This is the gods telling you this is a bad idea, bro. Let it go. Thanks. I needed that honesty. I was starting to say it was for the best to myself. You're right, though. I know I am. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. I was actually going to troubleshoot this one, but I think we had to tell him the truth. Here, let's. We're taking this W. This W was ours. So I was trying to do the thumbs up, but I don't think there is an Is there an icon for thumbs up? Spoiler. I don't think you can do thumbs up. Okay, never mind. Forget it. just go up. And yeah. So we'll go with the up arrow. So yeah, we got to be honest with them. Because you already lost me as soon as you said cringe text to show my girlfriend. Bro, like, no. If I was your friend, I'd be like, don't even worry about it, bro. It's not a big deal. Do not try to show cringe text to your girlfriend. That's a horrible idea. Because it's going to be something that you said with a friend, and then they're going to wonder if that's your girl or y'all used to talk, and then you may see them again down the line. Yeah, don't even do it, bro. It's not worth it. You see here trying to cause drama for no reason. That's just the Lord telling you, nah, bro. If you want to keep this one, you need to stop. All right, so this is from we giving tech advice and life advice. That's how we roll on this channel. Fresh install of Windows 10 stuck on hardware monitor screen. I remember this. So he was saying he was stuck on hardware monitor screen, but we didn't know what the hell he was talking about. We were trying to see if he can give us a picture of what he meant. So quick question, can you show us a picture of what you mean by stuck on hardware monitor screen? With the new hard drive, try to reinstall Windows, but before you let it boot, press F2 to go into the BIOS and go to the boot tab and make sure the thumb drive is the first device selected. He said he was having issues with booting the device once he had the thumb drive in, but the reason why is because the thumb drive wasn't taking precedence. So in order to fix that, you go into the F2 to get into the BIOS and then go to boot. This will take some time since it's a hard drive, but see if it gets Windows back up. But if not, let us know. Okay, so this is what he was talking about, and I'll explain the issue as we're talking about it. The fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. That came out way too quickly. The frick? Okay, his issue is I think his girlfriend, I don't think it's him. I think his girlfriend acquired a computer from her grandfather. And so because it's from her grandfather, you already know it's an older system, and it's not any Ryzen or anything like that. I think it was a Phenom 945 or something like that. And yeah, he said it's stuck in the hardware monitor screen. And we were like, what are you talking about when you say hardware monitor screen? And he literally shows us a picture that says hardware monitor. Well, I don't remember ever seeing this in life. I tried to wait it out before to see if maybe it just wants it to take its sweet time, but I waited for a few hours, but to no avail. I tried to do that with the thumb drive and BIOS, but here you'll see it doesn't work. Oh, dear Lord. USB generic. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm zoomed all the way in. He was actually showing the whole thing. Here, let me go back, and let me go back. This thing may have audio. Let me get my headset. My bad. My fault. There we go. No, it's no audio. Okay, so it's a SATA drive, and we do see that, and we tried to save the changes and reboot. So it's rebooting currently. Okay. Wow, it goes right to it. That is quick. Huh. Oh well. Ooh, that's a good one. Hey, Windows. What? Okay. Well. Any suggestions? Well, it's trying to load from the thumb drive, but it appears to be having a problem reading it. So let's try this. Plug your thumb drive. Was there a front USB port in 1992? So plug your thumb drive into the front USB port. Is there a front USB port? Front USB port? Ugh. Yeah. So it's from their grandfather. Okay, let's start with that. That's the reason why it's gonna be super old. But it was on Windows 10. Oh, well, he tried to use Windows 10, and a full wipe of her old computer since it was owned by her grandfather at first. Okay. And however, after the reset, it prompted me to log in to the owner account of the computer. And when I tried, I said the user profile login system had failed and just forcefully restarted. So by the information that it's giving us, he may be better off with Windows 7, depending on how old this guy is. Is there a front USB port? Could you try Windows 7 instead of Windows 10? To see if it makes, I'm sorry, my download folder popped up, makes a difference. So yeah, let's go front port and let's go try Windows 7 to see if it makes a difference. I don't know how old it is. Hold on. When we were on that screen, did it actually show the CPU on this guy? No. No, it did not. But his settings, his BIOS, that's old school. That's old school. So, I mean, because you look at his BIOS utility, I mean, good Lord. This is like the old Phenom BIOS from way back when. And a lot of other computers. It's not just the Phenom and the old Intel 945s and stuff like that. Dang. N68SC. Google N68SC-M3S. AM2. So the Phenom series was AM3. This guy, oh, okay. So this is also AM3. Okay. Oh, but it also can take the Phenom, but it can also take Athlon. So he may have an AMD Athlon CPU here that we're dealing with. But even back then, what I was trying to get to, the reason why I wanted to come here is USB 2.0. There's a pretty good shot that he may have USB 2.0 ports in the front of it. That's what I was trying to figure out. So if we look at this board here, let's see if we can we zoom in? Enhance. Okay, that did not help at all, but okay, whatever. So is there a USB header? I I don't see a USB header. Maybe, oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I think that's your USB header right here. Yeah, front USB. So he has 2 front USB port headers. So yeah, there's a pretty good chance that he may have a front USB port. That's what I was worried about. I didn't know for sure how old we talking, but it appears that he may have front USB ports. So we'll have him try that. And Xbox? Where are we? Okay. Yeah, so we'll have him try Windows 7 instead of Windows 10 and also try the thumb drive and the front port to see if it makes a difference. It could be that his rear ports just doesn't have the power required to actually read that drive, or it could be a bad port that he plugged into. So we'll just reverse it, try the front port, and also try Windows 7 and see what happens. So miserable ad, let us know how this goes. How many? It's just us talking. Okay, cool. Cool. Wow, gotta take it back on us. Fosi? Okay, I was just making sure that it wasn't us that replied if this wasn't a repeat. What time is it? 9:06. Okay, we're doing really good on time. Okay. Make sure nobody. Okay, cool. Can't get internet to work on desktop. I'm running Windows 10 on my desktop and I have an external wireless dongle for it. A month or so ago, my wireless wasn't working and I couldn't figure it out. Ended up hardwiring an Ethernet cable and that worked fine for a while, but now that has stopped working. Network says a cable isn't plugged in, but I've tested on my laptop and it works. Okay, so he's just talking about his desktop. Is my motherboard fried? Oh God, no. No, of course not. No, of course not. I don't want to say that. That sounds smug. No, you're fine. You're fine. We can work this issue, no problem. So it works when you plug it into your laptop but not your desktop, which lets us know that you have network connectivity, so there's no point in going to the router or to a bad cable. So when you plug your Ethernet cable into the back of the desktop, are there any lights that come on directly above the Ethernet cable? Also, is the device disabled? You can check this by going to the control panel, start control panel, start control panel. He said 10, right? 10, yeah. Control panel, network, and internet, and network, and sharing center. Let me go to Windows 10 so I can show everybody, just in case. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, what I'm actually referring to is here, control panel, network and internet, network and sharing center, and then change adapter settings in order to get here. So I'm trying to make sure that this guy here isn't set to disable. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and head back here. Network and internet, network and sharing center. Sorry, change adapter settings. Here, make sure the device is not disabled by right-clicking and hit enable if disabled. So we'll just go with those two because there's a reason for this. It's because we really want to know this part right here, right? So when you plug it in, does it show any lights? Because if it doesn't show any lights, then it doesn't really matter. But it may also be disabled. So we just want to check and make sure that he doesn't have it disabled. It could be that he may have disabled it on accident because we already know that he likes Wi-Fi because he has an external wireless dongle. So he may have disabled it on accident. That's what I'm getting at. So he said, if you have Windows, boot it up and look at the settings of something called network reset. Give that a shot. Yeah, don't do that. Just follow what I said. And basically, so just going about it two different ways. Basically, whenever you plug an Ethernet cable into the desktop, there's going to be two lights that are going to be on the back, a green and an orange, to let you know there's some connectivity there. If there are no lights, then we want to just make sure that the device isn't disabled. If it's not disabled and you see it in control panel, but there's no lights on the back of the actual motherboard itself for that particular port, then yes, you may have an issue with your Ethernet jack on your motherboard, at which case you would go ahead and try to download the most up-to-date version of the Ethernet jack or update the BIOS. Either or in that situation. And I would accept both answers, but I would probably accept the networking from the manufacturer's website. Installing that, I would accept that more because that would fit this situation better, because we know he likes wireless. So I would try that before I try the BIOS update. But you know, either way you can work it, but we're not going to say all that because that's going to be a mouthful and we don't want him to shut down on us. So we'll just go ahead and give him these two options and see what he says. All right, Fosi, go ahead and do that and let us know what you get. Alrighty, so the person who bought this needs to sign in error. Okay, all right, I remember this one. All right, so here's the situation on this one, right? So we were talking about this, right? And we were like, okay, so the person who bought this needs to sign in error, and he's basically getting an error saying that the person needs to sign in and whenever he tries to launch anything, and he says the person needs to sign in. So we were like, okay, well that usually means that somebody may have signed in, and then you may have gone in behind them and tried to set it up, or basically they may have reported it stolen. And we were like, ew, you know, we can't really say that, but essentially how you would fix this is to go ahead and do a reset. And so he said he tried power cycling and shutting it down, checking the NAT type, so on and so forth. But we were like, wipe it. Okay, since it lets you into the Xbox settings, go to System Reset Console, which of those of you who are not aware, I think I actually showed it earlier, but it's just System and then Console and then Reset. I think I may have actually pressed the oh no, I pressed the right button. Okay, it went all the way to sleep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, we're already here. Okay. Well, if you're already gonna be here, and then Console, Insole, and then Reset. That's what I was referring to. So that's what we had him do. He said, I'm the only owner. Home console purchase release day. Okay. Okay. Well, then I would try to wipe it to see if that makes a difference. You can back up your game save files just in case, but Xbox keeps it anyway. Xbox keeps a copy, but just being thorough. So this PlayStation, they all do that. Okay, well, I would try to wipe. Okay, well, then I would try to wipe it to see if that makes a difference. You can back up your game save files just in case, but Xbox keeps a copy, but just being thorough. Also, when you log into your Xbox account on any computer, does it show the console there? Let's see if can I show this? Maybe, baby. Xbox login, Microsoft login. Yeah. Sign in. Maybe I can. No. This is gonna take forever. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so yeah, in the Microsoft settings, you can actually go to your Xbox, so you should be able to see it there. I'm just trying to get him to verify to make sure that it is there. So just in case, and you know, I don't know for sure, but that's kind of one of the better things that you can do. So we'll just leave it at that. But I'm not about to show it because I haven't seen it in a very long time, and I just don't know what it may show. It may show something that I don't want it to show. So we'll just leave that alone. Also, when you log into your Xbox account on any computer, does it show the console there as a device tied to your account? Yeah. So that's what I would do on this here. I would basically log into the Xbox account just to make sure that the Xbox device is seen there as a device on your account, as well as doing a backup of your save files and then trying to do a wipe, a reset of the console to see if that actually resolves your issue, because that's the only thing left that you haven't tried, my good sir. And remove my profile from the console and added it back. No. Verified your subscription, billing information, and payment method are up to date and valid. Yeah, no, I would say wipe it. That's really your next step at this point. So HBC, keep us posted. All right. Oh, Tech Sergeant, I remember him. I remember the name. I remember the issue. Oh, no. I remember the issue. We had his issue. This is the one we got all excited about. So Tech Sergeant is a guy who was having an issue. I guess it's not really an issue, but basically he had an update, which is for Intel Net 2140 2.2 from Windows Update. It keeps trying to install it and silently failing, resulting in 60 ETL logs every day since it won't stop retrying. And he actually showed us the actual logs, and we went to ours and we had the same problem. So I guess it's not necessarily a problem. It's just that we saw it too. So if we go, I think it was this one. I think it was the Radeon, but I guess we'll find out. So if we go to device manager, yes. So with our Intel NIC here, we will also have the exact same problem. So you see how we have that yellow triangle there. So if we go to updates, view update, Windows update settings, you'll see that it wants to install the Intel Net, but we are way ahead of him. He's at 21, we're at 22.160.04. So we didn't want to, so once we realized we had his issue, we didn't want to do anything because we wanted to see what he was going to do. That way, if he did something and it didn't work, we can try something to see if it does work. You see what I'm saying? But we'll know more as we move on, because we can recreate his issue is what I was getting at. So we let him know. We're like, hey, homie, we can recreate your issue. Totally. It's not even a problem, bro. And I said, all right, yeah, that looks like a failure. But fun fact, we were just tripping off the fact that we have the same alert. I promise we did not plan that, LOL. Running a show and we just noticed this. All right, so this is what we see. Intel Net 22.160.04 for our NIC that is also trying to update. Firstly, is yours linked to Bluetooth, or is it just a wireless card? What I would do for this one is to uninstall the wireless card to see if that stops it. If it is on a desktop, you can literally remove the back panel shroud and unhook it from its slot. If it's a laptop, you can unscrew it from its slot. Both of these should make the issue go away if you don't want to install the driver. This man doesn't want his Wi-Fi card to work at all. Okay, let's just make that clear. He does not want his Wi-Fi to work at all, but he never mentioned once about his Bluetooth. So if it's a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth combo, then there's a possibility that he may lose his Bluetooth whenever we're trying to remove his Wi-Fi. And so we also mentioned that to him. We can also do it too if you need some type of verification, since we both have the same result. He said, yeah, I did uninstall it. Some reason Windows Update Agent still seems hell-bent on installing it again. Desktop Acer Predator, though, the Acer Desktop Predator, okay. Though the Wi-Fi card does both and is slotted in the board, not part of it. Slotted in a board. It's soldered onto the motherboard, is what he's saying. I'm still fiddling with it to see if I can't stop it from reloading the junk that I have blocked. No dice though. It seems it only waits 5 minutes between attempts for half the time. Not sure if I should focus on understanding the data store, but it's what I'm looking at next. So I can at least tell from looking at the datastore.edb that it contains the URL targets for update downloads and registry references that are less readable. It also seems to have data for all install AppX packages and optional stuff as well. Okay. Okay, so then he replied back to that. Well, this is interesting. It's not getting the initial data from Datastore EDB, at least failed Windows Update. Okay. It seems they skipped a few checks, but it reduces how often it repeats attempts when I move the datastore.edb and its other file to the desktop so it's a result. So where is it pulling the data for reloading C update, I wonder? Well, I'll be darned. It hasn't output any logs since then. Not exactly fixed though. How so? How so? If there are no logs, then you are good to go, correct? or do you still see it in Windows Update? I thought there was an option in Windows Update where you can prevent an update from installing. Let's see. This is just my mind. I thought you had an option to stop different updates. Advanced options. Receive updates for other Microsoft products when you update Windows. No. Download updates over. No. Restart the device. No. Show a notification on your PC requires. No. Pause updates. Configure automatic device setup after an update under the privacy settings. No. Delivery optimization. Allow downloads from other PCs. That's not what I'm talking about. Activity. Change delivery optimization cache. No. 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 View optional updates. Driver updates. $22,200 06. 22,160 04. Yeah, it's gonna keep wanting him to install. Remember, he's on 21 something. So it's gonna eventually make him install this one, and you can even tell mine has 22 something. Troubleshoot Windows update problems. No. Check storage. OS build. No. There's no way to get rid of it. Well, I mean, you could turn off Windows updates or just updates in general, or you can no. I was gonna say, or you can install it and then go into the control panel, uninstall, and then Windows programs and uninstall it from there. However, if you did that, it's just gonna pop up right here. So I don't know if there's a way to stop this guy. Remember, in the optional updates, we don't have anything turned on. So, or sorry, not optional updates, but in the advanced options, we don't have any features turned on. So there's nothing that we're actually doing or turning on that's making it say that we have to do the Intel Net. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think there's any options we have here. I think we have our hands tied just like he does. But he's going full into it. Like he really hates this program. How so? If there are no logs, then you are good to go, correct? Or do you still see it in the Windows update? In the Windows update, or do you still see it in the Windows update? What happens if you reboot? Okay, so yeah, we need to know if he sees it in the Windows update. Okay, and we also need to know what happens if he reboots, because if he still sees it in the update settings, even though he doesn't have the errors for it like he used to, then that may not solve his problem, because that means that he can't install any updates because that guy wants to install like it does in ours. So if that's the case, I'm sorry. So what I said here is, how so? If there are no logs, then you are good to go, correct? Or do you still see it in the Windows update? What happens if you reboot? And we did that because we wanted to see if the Windows update is still showing it even though he's getting no errors. And that will at least point us in the right direction to see exactly what he's referring to when he says it's not exactly fixed. Because I thought he was actually just referring to his logs and him actually showing all these corrupted logs. But if that update is still there, it won't let you install anything else without it also trying to install that Windows update. So that worries me a little bit. Like for ours, let's see. For ours, it actually says it's ready to restart, which means that the update is already installed. So for him, I'm not sure if he's here yet. I'm not sure if his screen shows what our screen shows, where it's actually getting ready to install. So because of that, we don't know. So because of that, it's better to ask. So we'll just ask and see what he says. He seems pretty wired that we actually have his issue too. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll just go from there. Let's see if anybody else has actually said anything. No, it's just us talking. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So this is just going to be us. So yeah, that's fine. We'll work it with him and see exactly what he's getting. But he's getting an error, but we never got an error because we never stopped it. So he stopped it from installing. So now he stopped it multiple times, and because of that, he's now getting this serialized error in his logs, and we're not getting that because we never stopped the update. We just noticed that we had it. So that's a little different here, but we'll see what happens. So Tech Surgeon, keep us posted, man. It sounds like you know what you're doing. So we'll let you do what you do, and we'll just stay on standby in case we need to do something in order to test against his issue. I don't need Wi-Fi anyway. Mine is hooked up directly. Alrighty, so this is from Kevin Corndog. I remember him. I remember his name at least. Xbox One controller won't stay connected, and we were trying to really try to get out the whole wired situation with him, but I don't know if we were able to. He said his Xbox One controller won't stay connected to his console. Initially, they connect, but after a few button presses, they disconnect and rarely reconnect, flashing for a few seconds before turning off. This issue is affecting both of my controllers, and it is present even when the controllers are plugged into the console. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Both controllers are up to date. The batteries are new. I have tried a hard reset on both controllers and on the console. I'm still able to control the console using my phone, though, through the Xbox app, and haven't noticed any other performance issues with the console. Has anyone experienced this issue before? Okay, so what happens when you plug in directly? Does it work then? Okay, that was stupid. That was stupid. He said this issue is affecting both controllers and is present even when the controllers are plugged into the console. I'm sorry. I probably was getting ready. I was getting sleepy on that one. Also check to see if there is any pending updates for you to install by going to system updates and check for updates. I've power cycled it, bought new batteries, checked for updates, and even bought a new controller to see if that was the problem, but nothing has worked. It was fine till I updated the console a few days ago. This is just like that other one. Okay. Prove it. Prove it. Wipe the Xbox system. After backing up your files to see if that resolves the issue. Then, as a new Xbox does not update the system automatically. And this is true. Whenever I first had the Xbox One X, whenever it started, I had to go into the settings and actually get it to actually do the update. Whereas some consoles will actually just go ahead and do the update and go ahead and download. But in my case, whenever I booted up the Xbox, it just straight up went ahead and showed me the screen, even though it needed an update. It wasn't until I went to system update and actually installed the update. So we'll go ahead and have him wipe it, and then with a default version, see if that actually fixes this controller issue. Update the system automatically. Also, try to pair your Xbox controller with your cell phone. Does it work? You can test with Call of Duty Mobile. So the reason why I want them to do this is because I want to see if the controller turns off whenever you have it connected to your phone. If it doesn't turn off, then we just wanted to verify that that particular controller is good, just to be on the safe side. I get that he's tried 3 freaking controllers, but we just want to verify and just make sure that the Xbox controller itself isn't having a problem. In the off chance, right? So this is very, 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 very unlikely because we're talking he's already tried 3 different controllers and plugged them all into the Xbox. But we just want to make sure, just in case, it's the controller. Because if it's not the controller, it's bad. Because we're looking at software or hardware at that point. And if it's software, there may not be anything he can do. Because it's going to automatically try to install the most up-to-date version of Xbox as soon as he restores it. So it's going to restore it, and then if he goes to system check for updates, or if he tries to go to something that has a new update, it's going to try to install that update. So yeah, it gets bad after this, Mr. Corndog, but keep us posted. Hopefully we can kind of figure out what's going on here. All right, group 7, last group. Let's do this. 9:29. We're doing pretty good on time. It's not too bad. All right, so we'll just do these last few and we'll finish up. It will go up to 2%, then stop. I don't know what to do. Okay, installation stopped. Okay, well, how much disk space do you have? Okay, well, how much disk space do you have? You can see this by going to I have no idea. I don't remember off the top of my head. By going to system. Oh, I'm sorry, not even system, just storage. By going to storage. By going to storage. By going to settings, storage. How much space do you have free? Try to uninstall a few games and see if that resolves the issue. You can always re-download them later. All right, so that's what I would say for that. I would say right here, I would say, okay, well, how much disk space do you have? You can see this by going to settings, storage, because that's where we just were. How much space do you have free? Try to uninstall a few games to see if that resolves the issue. You can always re-download them later. And we'll go with that. So Quack, go ahead and let us know. Quack like a duck, Quack. Wow. Let us know how that goes. I'm sure nobody has that name but him. That's actually a pretty good name. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go to this one here. And I think we'll stop. We're getting kind of close and I have a few things I need to do. Does anyone know what the deal is with these green pixels? It works fine on my PS4 and it's not a part of cable. It's not a port or cable issue as I've checked both for damage and they were fine. What green pixels? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a picture. It's a video. Hold on. Let me get my headset. Okay, is he talking about those little lines that go across the screen? Bro, his background is of a moon. I don't know. Could you change your background to something other than a moon, as everything just looks like stars? In any event, we can shoot this blind. So no, I wouldn't say that. That sounds very douchey. So with this one, green pixels on the screen is usually an indication of a faulty cable or port between the Xbox and monitor. So let's try this. Do you have a replacement HDMI cable you can test with? Also change, oh, I already said that. So yeah, we'll basically have him change out the cable. All he did was really say that the cable is plugged in and it doesn't look like it was damaged. He doesn't mention whether or not the cable itself has actually been replaced. So because of that, we're going to ask, because generally whenever you see green pixels or small pixels or any type of indication that you have problems with the color, the picture, the pixels, is usually going to be an indication of a poor cable connection between the actual Xbox and the television. And that's usually one of the quicker ways to notice that. And the way you would fix that is just swapping out the cable or moving to a different input on the HDMI television. Now, if you try different ports and you get that green screen no matter what you hook it up to. So for example, if you have it hooked up to a television and then you move it to a monitor, then and you still have the problem, then the issue is going to be either the cable or the Xbox. So that's kind of how you would troubleshoot that. But it's hard for anybody to give an understanding because basically it just looks like stars to us. So yeah, we just need some more information here before we can move on. Okay. Okay, we'll just do this last one and we'll call it. How do I change my PS5 controller device name on PC? I have two controllers, one is red and the other is black. So I would like to change the Bluetooth names, but I can't find how. And devices and printers doesn't work when I try to change it there. Is it impossible to do without a PS5? Do I have to install something? What? Devices and printers. Oh, okay. No. He's talking about installing his PS5 controller on his PC. Okay. Okay. Changing the name of a controller attached to your PC. I don't think you can. Well, here, let's try Windows 10 first. I don't think Windows 10 has a controller. We'll go Windows 11. Windows 11 has a controller. So let me open that up real quick here. Minimize you. And what are we talking about? Controllers. That's right. I'm sorry. Control. Oh, my mind just went blank. I'm so sorry. Oh, my bad. Show Bluetooth devices. There you go, mine. I don't know what it was tripping off of. So yeah, from here you can't really do anything. One, it's just gonna show it as an Xbox wireless controller. So, or in this case here, it'll be a PlayStation controller. But there's not a whole lot you can do here with that. Now you might be able to change it in the Xbox settings, but when it comes to a PlayStation controller, I don't know if you can. It will be under system if you were going to, and hardware and sound. Tablet, pen, devices, and printers. Yeah, that's going to be the only place you can go. Yeah. Multimedia devices, properties. Okay, so this is the console itself. Let's see. I could hear it way in here. Okay. All right. And he's right. Game controller settings. Advanced. Preferred device. Select the device you want to use with older programs. No. Okay. Can we change the name? No. I can hear it all the way in here. Properties. Vigilante, my man. I just now got a Kingston SSD 480 gigabyte storage, and I saw an increased amount of storage. Can you explain for me what I need to do first installing an SSD? Are you trying to install it as your boot device, or are you just trying to set up an SSD as just an extra drive for like holding video games and stuff? Because if you're trying to set it as a boot drive, then you're going to need to clone your C drive over to the SSD. Increase amount of storage. Can you explain for me what I need to do first installing an SSD? Okay, yeah. Let me know, and we'll go from there. I'm getting ready to stop here in a little bit, but I'll wait for your reply, and then I'll go ahead and answer that. But as for this cat, general hardware, I don't think you can, bro. Nobody's ever asked me. I don't think you can. Oh no, right here. Xbox controller. Let's try 2. Apply. Okay. And refresh. Okay. The devices and printers. Dude, that totally did not work. Properties, connected device. Properties, connected device, Xbox wireless controller, Xbox wireless. Let's just erase that and hit apply. Renaming device failed. Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, so it's failing whenever you're trying to rename the device. Okay, well, we can at least let him know that there is an option under properties. Well, he's already here in devices and printers, so we don't have to tell him how to get here. But under properties and then connected device, he should be able to change it from there. All right, so let's go back to him. I think boot drive. Okay, I'll get with you in one quick second. Let me help this cat. So So with this one, in the devices and printers settings, if you right click on the device and then go to properties and then connected device, here you can change the name, but it needs to be turned on and actually connected to the PC. Let me know if that resolves the issue. All right. All right, so for you, Vigilante, my homie, what you would actually do here, if you have a new SSD and you're looking to migrate from a drive that you previously had over to your SSD, if they're the same size, then you should be able to just do it, just migrate it over. But if one is bigger than the other, like the SSD is actually bigger than the original one, then what you would actually do is get a program called Macrium Reflect. This guy is free. I've used it plenty of times, so you just download it and then just choose the free option. But once you actually have it installed, you choose the C drive, the one that has the C drive on it. You select it. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll just type it. After installing Macrium Reflect, boot it up and choose the drive that has your C drive on it and select clone this device. After selecting clone, choose the SSD and move the partitions from the top of the screen to the bottom. There is no order as long as the C drive is last. Then hit next, and continue. This will start the boot process. Oh, I'm sorry, the not boot process, the clone process. Start. Okay. So that will actually start the clone process. And once it starts the clone process, it'll clone over to the other SSD, and then you test it to make sure that it works. So that's what you would do. You would basically download Macrium Reflect, and then you would choose the drive that has C on it. You can't miss it. It's going to be the only drive that you have, and it's probably going to say C as one of the actual partitions. And partitions is basically those little cuts that you see on the drive. And then so you just choose that guy and hit clone this device, and then it'll take you to another screen. And in that other screen, you want to choose the SSD, which will be blank. You just choose that SSD and it'll say 448 gigs. Choose that guy. And then once you choose that SSD, you just want to drag everything down manually. Okay. You want to do this manually because if you do it automatically, the C drive may not be last. It may be in the middle somewhere, which is bad. It needs to be last. The reason why you need it to be last is once you get it booted up onto the SSD, you want to extend the drive in order to take the extra file storage. Otherwise, it'll just be sitting there blank. But the C drive, you can extend it once we actually get it booted into that particular drive. That's the reason why we do that. So go ahead and clone it that way with the C drive last. And then whenever you boot with that SSD, you just want to extend the drive by going to Device Manager. And that one I can show you. So you just go into Device Manager. This is after we do the clone. So after we do the clone, we just want to go into Device Manager. Was it Device Manager? I'm sorry, not Device Manager. I misspoke. Disk Manager. And create and format hard disk partitions. And then from here, you're going to see it. It's going to look just like this, right? So it's going to show all of these are the partitions that you had dragged down. And then as you can see here, C is last. So you just right click, and then you're going to have an option that says extend volume. You just hit extend volume, hit next, finish. It will extend it and it will give you that entire remaining storage of the SSD that you have available. Because it could be that, you know, you're only using like 200 gig, but you just bought a 500 gig SSD and you want to extend it so you can make sure you can pick up that extra 300 gig. That's what you use the extend volume for. So this is going to be under disk management, but this is all after you do the cloning process. So cloning process, then this, and that's how you would actually get that to work, good sir. Okay, and we will call it a day. Okay, I'll be on tomorrow, Vigilante. So if you run into any problems, you can always let me know. And I think we will go ahead and call it here. Just make sure you get that copied. If not, I'll put it in the chat description. That way you have it. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going a little bit slow just to make sure Vigilante got all that. Cool. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end it here. And if you like this video, go to the like button. If you really like it, I'm going to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best. And bye. I'll go ahead and grab that information for you. Okay, you got it. Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to leave you hanging, bro. So, okay, so it looks like we're good.